There's so many similarities but differences with both these cabinets, and we're going to get into them. You'll ask yourself, why would you have both golden tees? It comes down to the games, and that's what we're going to focus this review on with the Arcade1up Midway XL Golden Tee Arcade Classics. I don't even know if that's the name of this cabinet, but I guess we'll just call it the Midway XL for short, or heck, go with the Frankenstein cabinet. Here's my review. Already having a Golden Tee XL, why get another one? They look the same height, same width, everything except for, yeah, these joysticks, the buttons here, the Midway arcade games. Actually, this is Arcade1up's biggest multi-cade yet. 20 games total. 8 games came with this. They're on here, plus another 12 Midway. Pretty much everything that you would get on a Midway Legacy, except the Mortal Kombat franchise. Both cabinets coming in at just under 65 inches tall. They come out right at 27.5. Both control deck heights coming in at just over 36.5 inches. Call it 36 3/4. It's about 22.25 inches wide, so just comparing it to your typical Arcade1up, whether it's a deluxe or the 3/4 scale on the riser, those are about 19, maybe 20, if you factor in the bottom base of the riser. Getting a couple inches on here, so it's almost incomparable. You start getting enough XLs, it equals that. You start talking real estate like the 4 players, so 22.25, about 3 inches, 2.5 inches wider than your typical cabinet. Of course, the monitors. You have a BOE, you have a TN, and from where we're standing right here, when you're playing, you don't really notice it. I mean, you see a little discoloration here, but the closer you get to this, it's never really a factor. It's getting off to the side. At least they improved it this time with the BOE, but yeah, everything's the same, identical. And look at the speaker grills, the same, the marquee size, pretty much the same, except the 20 games. Now, it is pretty cool that you can take the trackball and just go through the entire 20 games list, and also with the controller. Of course, a great feature that we saw with the Vault Edition Arcade1up Deluxe is the light up control deck that you can power off or power on. Now, the Pac-Man XL also has the light up buttons, but that stays on all the time. At least with this, you can, if you don't want to have it on, you can just turn it off and just kind of play it like any of your other cabinets. This is new right here. The warning, hitting the trackball with excessive force may cause injury. We don't have that with the OG. Also, we don't have the headphone jack. Kind of pointed this out on the last walk and talk we did. So there's some similarities, and then there's some completely newer stuff. I do like the theming, the Golden Tee, and then you see the Midway over here. It's a nice touch, comparing the two. They're the same, but they're not, and just kind of the color scheme. I think they went with a pretty good look here. Now with the trackball with the OG. The trackball on the Midway XL. I would say they're very similar. World-class bowling. Now you can see the difference in the monitors. I mean, I'll give you that. The BOE compared to the TN, even though it's not kind of ghosting out or discoloration, it's a lot darker. It's a lot darker of a screen than we're seeing with the BOE. Plus, I'm better on this one. There's music in the main menu, nothing on the main menu for the Midway XL. I guess we're just gonna call this the Midway XL, just not to get them confused. 2 pages of 4 games on each page, all 20 on this one. So those are the differences as far as, you know, kind of the look. But the trackball, honestly, I don't feel anything different. I thought the first time that I saw this at Costco that this trackball was better, but you know, having them right next to each other, I'm not noticing anything different. Before we get into gameplay, I just want to point out a major flaw, and that's the player 2 side. It's great having player 2 on here, you know, to give another opponent to come on here, especially the fact that you can't play this online, but there's really nowhere to put your hand. It's going to be awkward, maybe annoying at times. So luckily for me, it's going to be just me playing this for the most part, but I just want to point this out that it's a great cap. I mean, you know, aesthetically, it's just right here. It's going to be tough, but you know, there are things about every cabinet, and unfortunately, nothing's always perfect, and this is one of the big flaws on here. All right, we'll test out bubbles. So I'm using the joystick right now, and you can see the bubble on the left. Now, going from the joystick to the trackball instantly, look at this. You can use both controls. Little difficult, but I guess it just takes some getting used to. Trackball right now, and right this second, I'm now using the joystick. So that's pretty good. We can switch back and forth. I didn't know that. I thought that you probably had to start off one way or another, but I guess if you're player 2 on some games like this, it wouldn't matter, but this is a one-player game. But if we were rotating between a friend, you know, not everything's going to be in that awkward spot, so it's nice having the trackball. And I'm not going to do this every time, but I do hit the live button. It prompts up this menu, and you can use the trackball to navigate what you want to choose, or the joystick. And we're going to quit game. Press the A button and go back to the main menu. I was just thinking the A button, so there's 2 buttons, is the lower button. B button is the top button. So it's just kind of mental notes here on getting used to new controls. Okay, Defender, player 1. I am using the joystick on player 1 and the A button on player 2. I didn't know that at first. I was wondering why I wasn't able to shoot with the buttons, so you do get a little bit of a stretch here playing this. I don't mind this, because I think, you know, on like Midway Legacy, you know, everything's in those 5 buttons right in front of you, so at least I think this is going to be very comparable to the Partycade. So I think people would be pretty much pleased on how this plays on the Midway XL, having the buttons spaced out. Try it one more time here. So the B button isn't doing anything, it's just the A button and the joystick. Now, can't use the trackball, it's just player 1's joystick. Wasn't really paying attention there. Yeah, it feels pretty good. But I'm no good. It's just like bubbles. Alright, last life here. I can actually see myself enjoying Defender. You know, not having that Partycade. Now, it would be fun to play Gauntlet with a friend on here, but again, playing on that player 2 side, it's going to be tough. And I gotta admit that one of the games I like to play on my Mortal Kombat 2 Deluxe is Gauntlet, because we can play online. I mean, there can be 4 of us. And unfortunately, it's just online leaderboard. I just want to say early in the gameplay, it's a shame they couldn't give us the online. I'm not asking for that for bowling or the golf, but you know, for something like Gauntlet or Rampage, you know, it's a mess, unfortunately, and this is a tough one to just kind of go about on your own, as far as I'm concerned. I've always played this with someone else. It's a very long game, and I don't know how much of this game I'm actually going to play, just, you know, by myself on a one-player standpoint. So just throwing that out there, that I'm a big fan of the online games, and I mean, this plays good. I'm glad it's on here. I think it gives people who want to have, you know, everything on one some options, but yeah, they missed out on the online here. Okay, there's a couple of reasons why I got this, not just because it's an XL, but because of the possibility of it being the Defender Partycade all over again and having some special games like Gorf on here. Give this a shot. Everything should be on the player 1 side. Now you can play player 2, and you see that they have turned this into a vertical screen with kind of the monitor turning into the bezel. I think it's really cool to have this on here. You know, I don't have a spot for something like the Mortal Kombat 2 head-to-head table, and having this on an actual, you know, almost full-size arcade screen, full cabinet. And this is awesome. You know, looking at Gorf, looking at the bezel, and then, you know, the marquee having Golden Tee and Midway on here. I guess this is how it is if you have an ALP, just to kind of throw that out there. And I think that's a good perspective for me, you know, thinking about skins on certain other types of multi-cade products. You know, if you're looking at the screen, you kind of trick your mind like, I'm playing Gorf right now. It doesn't matter what the marquee is saying. Try it one more time. Honestly, I've played Gorf less than a handful of times because I just haven't had it, you know, accessible to me. Well, now I do. And I gotta press this every time. I can't hold the button down. It's not like playing like Galaga 88. It plays good. No real complaints here, except for the fact that I need a little practice. You know, it kind of hurts playing Joust on here because this is another game that I would play online. And now it's kind of playing against the computer. It's not as fun for me of knowing what this plays like on the Mortal Kombat 2 Deluxe. So the biggest gripe so far, it plays good. The buttons are fine, the controller, the joystick. It's just the fact that, again, no online. Kind of sound like a broken record to that, but it's a mess. See if that comes back to me. Well, online or not, I mean, it's a fun game. It's just, it's always better. You know, I always say that about beat 'em ups. Something like X-Men or Turtles, it's so much different when you're playing alongside of somebody, or in Joust against someone. Oh, he got around me. Come on. I know, the longest review up. There we go. Alright, Clax. Don't have a lot of experience. I did play this a little bit on my Mortal Kombat 2.
Clack Wave.
I think you could play Clax online, if I'm not mistaken, on Mortal Kombat. Oh shoot! And I was just about to say, yeah, this is playing pretty good. I guess I'll start a new orange. Okay, now before I get into Paperboy, just going over the options here. A button is throw, B button's pedal, steer and pedal, or we can use the joystick. So we can use the trackball or the joystick. So we'll see in the gameplay. And it's different because if you want to use the trackball, it's, you know, then you're going to use your left hand to throw the papers or to speed up versus using your left hand to use the joystick. So it's a little bit different. I almost would rather play this with the joystick. I don't really have much feel here with the trackball with this game. I think it's just kind of luck, me weaving in and out. I'll try it with the joystick really quick and see if I have much. See, I have just a little bit more success here, a little bit more control with the joystick than the trackball. And I'm kind of taking this serious. Well, at least I broke up the fight. At least one of them. Alright, we'll see if we can do this. I think I got a little lucky jumping in that water. Okay, so I'm going to say it's impossible with the trackball, but a little possible with the joystick. And you'll never be able to play 3-player on Rampage. Like, this is the issue here. Is I always complain like why Battletoads doesn't have 3-player, why Knights of the Round doesn't. Well, now you have a 3-player game and you can only play 2. There's no way to play a third player on here. It'll be George. You know, it's a bonus thinking of other cabinets that have something, and it's almost impossible to play, but just saying, well, I mean, at least it's on there kind of thing. I guess you can kind of say this for Rampage. I mean, you know, at least you could play with someone, but yeah, you can, it's right here. It's like join in now, join in now. You can't play them all. I did test out Rampage a little bit the other night, and I don't notice it and you know any different than playing it on any of the Mortal Kombat cabinets I've had. I feel like I'm saying a lot of Mortal Kombat, but I mean it's the Midway, and I think that the most to take from this is, you know, if you want to play the bowling, if you want to play the golf, there are options to get that. If you want the Midway games on here, this is the cabinet to get. You know, especially for the size. Can we get that fruit bowl? Okay, root beer tapper. This is interesting. We can use A button to pour, or pull down to pour, release to serve. So can you just get away with using the joysticks? We'll try it out. Try it out first with the A button and player one's joystick, and then yeah, we'll switch over to see if it's just like playing like Smash TV or Robotron with just joysticks. Okay, so we're just using A and player one, and there he goes. He's gonna have a little root beer. I've been around with the joysticks. You can. Okay, so if I go up here and I hold this down, what did he just do? Like, you can do this, but I guess you have to press A. So it's not like just using the joysticks. I thought that's what that meant. So just to confirm, you're gonna need to use the A button and the joystick in Root Beer Tapper. play one more round here. Just traditional here. I'm not going to try to do anything fancy. Whoops, a little fast on that one. And I have hardly any experience with Sinistar, so A button's gonna be fire, B is gonna be Cinnabomb. And we can use the trackball to fly the ship, and then the joystick. So I'll go back and forth. We'll try out the trackball, we'll try out the joystick, and you can see the bezel. Another reason why I wanted to get this, I mean, Sinistar, only available on the Partycade, the Defender Partycade, and the Mortal Kombat head-to-head. And this just works so much better for me. So I'm using the joystick. We'll do the, I was going to call it the Cinnabomb, like Cinnabon. I guess I don't have a bomb yet. Yeah, not really sure what to do here. I don't have a lot of experience with this game, but it's something that I'm really gonna get into playing a lot. It's gonna be one of the go-to games, and I'm not gonna lie, I'm gonna play World Class Bowling on here. It's my favorite game on the Golden Tee cabinet. The reason I bought that cabinet, but the reason I got this is for games like Sinistar, for Gorf, and just having those Midway games on here. And if, you know, for some reason they actually made a Mortal Kombat XL and they decided to just put Mortal Kombat games, you know, at least I'd have these other games on here, only losing, you know, if I got rid of something like the Mortal Kombat 2 Deluxe, losing the online games to play like Rampage and Joust. So, you know, there's pros and cons about that, but for the most part, I'm having a lot of fun just playing Sinistar. I'll switch to the trackball right now. So instantly, using the joystick and using the trackball, it works. Didn't really work in my favor there, but I think that I'd prefer using the joystick than the trackball, but at least it gives you that option. I'll play one more just because it's Sinistar. We don't have a lot of, I don't have a lot of, you know, playing ability. We'll use the trackball. And that guy kind of comes out of nowhere. Okay, I can hold that down. I can hold down the fire the entire time. This is probably the way to do this. Instead of me just mashing that button. Definitely the way to go. Now, I had both of these on during the walk and talk video, and I'm going to have a link in the description for that. And this just, it didn't power off, but the screen just kind of went blank. The marquee stayed on, the coin door stayed on, and I lost my Wi-Fi connection. I haven't had that issue in this video, and doing the review, I powered this on and off a couple of times since I started the video off, and it's been working fine. So I don't know if it was just kind of a dead zone that it couldn't just connect. It is kind of facing an outside window, but I guess it was a windy day. Nonetheless, I have not ran into any issues with this cabinet since. So I am just paddling right now, and he's going to go straight. I'm actually trying to figure this out. If I hold the joystick to the right, he'll kind of spin around, or to the left, he'll spin around. But if I let go, he'll go straight. So it's a little bit different than what I'm used to, which is having another set of buttons that he's either going to go left or he's going to go right. Now it's just kind of like you aim the joystick once and then just start paddling and he'll go that direction. So yeah, he'll kind of make, that's I'm just kind of spinning around here. That's the direction he will go. And then of course he will throw the cans if you have any. So not really liking the way this is being played on here. It's not an easy game to begin with, but at least the way I'm used to it, I know that one button does one thing and the other, you know, he'll maneuver. So I guess it's just getting used to. I gotta get away from him. Getting used to the joystick, I suppose. I guess if you do it long enough, kind of get my bearings here a little bit. There we go. So I went the other way. There's it's gonna get me. All right, Wizard of War. I am having kind of an issue figuring this one out with the one player. It's every time that I have started a game, I have to come back over to player 2 side now. So I'm not sure how to actually get player 1 to be player 1, but it's only letting me select, let me get this guy, player 2. Because it's making me angry, Mr. McGee. And you wouldn't like me when I was angry. Oops, I didn't see him coming. I was kind of focused on that bottom guy. Alright, we're gonna get him. Because I wanted to be player 1. So I am playing on the player 2 side, so you're gonna get my full review here on player 2. My hand is completely on the ledge. I mean, it's possible to play. I guess maybe this was meant to be, to get the feel for it. Oh, now they disappear on you. I know there's another guy. This is kind of fun. I don't really mind it on that player 2 side. It's just I don't know how to get. Maybe yellow's player 1. Maybe blue is player 2. Something you learn. We'll go another double score dungeon here. Okay. For a second, I didn't think I was controlling him. Yeah, that red guy's fast. Alright, game over. Now something else I was noticing when I was selecting the games is, you know, these are all the Mortal Kombat 2 cabs. So your online leaderboards carry over from the online games. You just can't play online on here. And the same goes for the 8 that are on the Golden Tee. All of these will go. There's PD7. So my sign in here is Loki 7 because I've already used that on my Golden Tee. So it's cool that they carry over completely 2 different brands, I guess. And having that all on here in the 20 games, having all of the online leaderboards, and then it just completely switches over and you see. So here's everything for, I guess, Gorf is the only online is on this cabinet. So you're only going to see this Midway that looks like it's on like a golf tee. So that, along with Sinistar, will just have those logos. But if we go to anything else like Tubin, you'll see the Mortal Kombat. There's one of the Midway. So that's pretty cool how they incorporated that. Just a quick look of the marquee lit up. I always like to just, you know, have the lights off, just looking at the marquee. I don't think there's any issue with this one with the other Golden Tee. I like what they did with the marquee. Yes, it's the Frankenstein cabinet, but there's no washout. It looks better than the KI Pro marquee. So just throwing that out there, a cabinet that is hundreds of dollars less, the marquee's better. Now there are things about this cabinet, about the build, that disappointed me compared to KI Pro, but for the most part, $5.99. I'm happy with everything they've included. I just wish, and even on the Player 2 side, like, I just wish they had online play. Well, for the most part, I'm pretty happy with this cabinet. To be completely honest with you, it's not completely finished. I don't have the screw caps on, and I don't have the back side on. Again, I'll have a link in the description for the walk and talk. I was kind of showing a little behind the scenes on here of maybe a little bit of a glitch that I found, but you know, it hasn't happened. This has been running for a while, and you know, I think it's kind of a blessing in disguise that we were playing on the Player 2. It's a little annoying, but it's not impossible to play. And I'm glad I experienced that, because I don't see myself playing on that side a lot. I love having these two right next to each other. If I could leave them here and just keep going XLs, how cool would that be? If you have any questions, please leave me a comment and I'll get back to answering it. Also, we will touch more on here in time. I like to play some games on here, and that's the whole reason I got it, just to play more games. So I want to thank everybody for watching. We'll see you guys next time. Check it out, Loki7 made the leaderboards for Sinistar. We got a long ways to go.